I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What?
Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Let's turn that down a bit. Happy Monday. It was a big weekend, but there's breaking news all over the place. The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer is here, along with a poster, and we'll talk about it. Plus, Jimmy Kimmel is back. That's right. He's back tomorrow. And we'll discuss it. Plus the weekend box office. Hollywood's on shaky ground. Your comments, questions, and our all-star panel. And someone else has returned to X. The Paul Chato is back. We'll discuss everything with Paul. So let's go. Let's start the show. Hey everyone, happy Monday. All right. God, everybody's here. Let's everyone intro themselves and we'll get going.
I'm the world's biggest Paul Chato supporter. I love that man. Appalling News is one of my favorite shows ever.
Oh, and I'm Paul Chato, and I am one of my biggest supporters.
Well, here you are. Exactly. Right there.
I'm back.
On X. If you are not following Paul Chato, just Paul Chato, your name, follow Paul on X. And how long were you censored, and why did your boycott not work? Why did it take this long?
I was out for a year, and to be quite honest, I did transgress the unwritten law. Another fellow and I got into it really good on X, and he gave it to me, I gave it back, and he complained, and I was gone.
Sounds hot.
So what can you do?
I like your message with the Emperor. You said coming back to X feels like, and the Emperor give it to you.
But you know what? To tell you the truth, it was a blessing because I was addicted to X, and I was on about all sorts of politics and everything, and lots of things angered me, and I spent that year in purgatory, thinking things through, and then now that I'm back, I just came out of nowhere. I mean, they suddenly, bing, oh, you're okay, and I guess Elon was missing my humor, but I went, you know what? Call me Chato is all about fun and, the odd little ribald remark. And I'm just going to stick with joy. I just, X is filled with all sorts of unhappy stuff. And if I can make people laugh, then that's my gift. That's what I'm going to use. So no more politics, nothing.
I've often thought, when I'm on my deathbed, am I going to look back on my life and think to myself, oh, I had the best reply to this one tweet?
Yes.
But I refrained. Wait,
that's right.
Yeah.
If
We're still
only
doing
I had said.
Just an intro. So let's get to it here. A couple more people, and people are joining.
It's a great day for America. Just like everyone rallied behind Gina, all those Hollywood celebrities, and we got results. Like, great to see Jimmy back. It's nice that he got treated the exact same way that Gina did.
There you go.
Steph, my nerdy home. Yes, I just saw the news of Jimmy Kimmel's return. I'm sure all of those celebrities are clapping and, praising themselves, giving themselves a nice pat on the back while Charlie Kirk's family is still grieving, still in mourning.
Hold
Seal
it.
Clap.
Yeah. And Alan Ng, Film Thread. Hey, I'm writing Wednesday's headline, Jimmy Kimmel sees highest ratings in over 5 years.
That's going to be true when he comes back Tuesday. It'll be
get
the
ready.
highest ratings because people want to know how he is going to respond.
That's right. It'll be up to 8.
He'll double down. Be great.
Yeah,
see.
it's going to go up. His ratings will go up. And then once people like finish hearing his monologue, they're not even going to finish the whole show. They're just going to tune out.
Well, I will vow this. I will watch whatever clip surfaces online, but I'm probably going to fail to watch the actual show. But a lot of people
should fly Sydney Sweeney out tonight and get her on the show.
Get her on. Get her on. I just want to say thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to get to your soups. We got box office and a couple topics. Quick reminder to go to shop.filmthreat.com. We've got our Spirit of Halloween collection and our sports collection. That's right. The Detroit Lions, my Detroit Lions, play today on Monday Night Football. I have the jersey. It arrived. Thank you, Atomic Lori. It's glorious. I love it. Go to shop.filmthreat.com and check that out. Also, a quick reminder, our friend Justine Bateman, who is going to be coming on the show very soon, her film festival, Credo 23, they go to credo23filmfest.com. They are accepting non-AI movies through December 20th. So you've got until nearly the end of the year to submit your film. Credo 23, and she, I was having a exchange with her today. She's going to come on the show to talk about the festival and among other things. So Credo 23 Film Fest. Film Threat is a sponsor of her festival and will be there. I believe it is in March. So we'll get to it. So
You gonna show her those AI trailers you like?
the
Lord of the Rings.
I want to have a whole discussion with her about AI. We'll get to it. But let's get to box office.
Yeah.
Alan, you've got the numbers. And one thing, I don't know if we can dig up stats for this, but it seems that Hollywood movies are less and less in the top 10. You've got anime, you have older films like Jaws, Back to the Future I expect to be very big, indie movies, retrospective films. It's I don't know. It's an alarming trend where the most popular movie is not a Hollywood movie. Alan, please give me the numbers.
The numbers is Demon Slayer comes in at number 1 for the second week in a row at 17.3 million.
Wow.
Him comes in at 13.5, a lot higher than I expected. Conjuring Last Rites goes strong, only losing 50% of the box office at 12.2. Downton Abbey, 6.2. Long Walk, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, 3.5 million. The Senior Angel Studios comes in, not too far behind them. And Toy Story 1 comes in strong at number 8. And then Fathom Events with Daniel Live and Weapons.
Yeah, this is a mixed bag. I mean, what is your analysis, everyone? I pointed out that like fewer and fewer Hollywood movies. Was it the strike that means there are fewer? Because I looked at fourth quarter last year. Do you know how many really good movies came out then? Oh, it was wild.
It's because anime is still
I would
based.
have come up.
We
Chris.
ruined our Western.
Thank you.
Chris, you know, what's really interesting about this box office this week is New Line Cinema passed $1 billion in grosses this year so far.
Wow.
Which had never, I mean, this is the studio that brought us, you know, Lord of the Rings. They have 3 movies. They had Final Destination, Bloodline. They had Companion too, and they had Weapons, and they have The Conjuring. And Conjuring Last Rites has become, this is a $2.5 billion franchise, the Conjuring franchise. And Last Rites is the highest grossing now of all the 9, I think there's 9, 9 Conjuring movies. That includes The Nun, that includes Annabelle.
Yeah.
So the Conjuring franchise has become the most successful horror franchise in history.
Wow.
And then so you have horror is doing quite well when it's good, but the real story is Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer is based on a TV show. This is the first of a trilogy of movies that continue the TV series. The previous Demon Slayer movies were compilations of episodes, but for Demon Slayer fans, this is new content. This would be like getting a new Star Wars trilogy. And so this movie has made $555 million worldwide, over $500 million worldwide so far.
Wow.
It probably will make over $700 million.
And to put that in perspective, Superman, right? 615 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also this costs far less. It's a Japanese animated film that Sony brought. I think it is Crunchyroll, right? So it was a team up between, and it wasn't really, I don't think it was produced by Sony. But if you look at the 1-2 punch of Demon Slayer and K-pop Demon Hunters, you see that you have a generation. New generations deserve their own franchises and their own. We've been expecting, young people to embrace a Star Wars that's almost 50 years old.
Yeah.
And what this says is that, new generations have always sought out new things that belong to them.
Yeah.
And the thing that Hollywood is not doing is catering to the very audience they've lost. Young people don't go to movies anymore, but they'll dress up for K-pop Demon Hunters and go to a sing-along, and they'll go see Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's pretty exciting that you see the numbers that Demon Slayer is putting up. And when I was in Vegas last weekend for a meetup, and before we went to the movie, there were people of all ages dressed up, cosplaying, going in and out of the theater in Vegas.
Wow.
So this is definitely a phenomenon that you've got to look at. And the thing is, this is something that American studios cannot duplicate.
I saw that as well at my theater. People dressed up. And when I went to go see Demon Slayer, I saw people dressed up as their, favorite Demon Slayer character. But the Demon Slayer manga is extremely popular.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It is very well adapted to film. It is one of the best adaptations that I've seen for the manga. It's really well adapted, and the story itself is really good. I think, like, with Chris, going back to your question, what's going on? Why aren't they producing more movies? I can't remember who said it, but they said that movie theaters nowadays they won't take risks on original storytelling. Like a lot of stuff has to be already connected to an IP or a franchise. That's why we see so many prequels, sequels, origin stories, things like that, because they already have like built-in audiences. And also it's lacking creativity within Hollywood. They don't want to take risks. When you see that when you do take risks on something, people will show up for it because it's really good storytelling. And I think that that's one of the biggest things. Like, stop doing live action adaptations. Produce something original. I think that Disney has sort of like worn out their audience with their live action adaptations, and really like their animated stuff has gone down the drain with the storytelling. But yeah, Demon Slayer, I was not surprised. Demon Slayer had already released overseas, and people were kind of watching little snippets of it on TikTok, and they couldn't wait for it to be here in the States. So it was very widely anticipated, and I'm not surprised that it did as well as it did, considering it's like really, really anticipated, and people were looking forward to the Infinity Castle arc, because that's like the ending of the manga. Like, that's the best product. That's the best parts of the manga, is the Infinity Castle arc.
I think the good news is now that the big Hollywood studios are not going to buy up licenses for anime. And I think next year we're going to see at least 20 or 30 anime movies coming to the theaters. And
so I'd be happy if they brought Solo Leveling. One Punch Man would be good. Now, it should be said that Demon Slayer, of which I'm a huge fan, did something that no other manga did. Most mangas are just this unending story, and with stuff that happens in like kind of arcs, like there are adventures, but Demon Slayer has very clean and specific arcs, such as the Mugen Train arc, the Entertainment District arc. We do have the overarching bad guy that's omnipresent all the way through, but he sends out his minions to defeat our heroes and ultimately fails. And people die in it. Characters that you really love die. It's really quite tragic in times. Lots of crying in it. It kind of bugs me. But what they've done is taken the TV version and kind of cut them down, but the arcs are absolute perfect movie segments. It's not your typical manga that just sort of goes on forever. It's just very innovative what they've done. So they cut down the arc into a movie and then show it. And this is about the third or fourth time that they've done it. But you can watch the TV version of it, and it's expanded and has more stuff in it. It's very, very clever. But the arc has a definitive ending.
Well, I think the big picture question I'm curious about, I mean, is Hollywood out of touch? Have they lost the zeitgeist?
I think so.
When you look at, I was listening to John Campea today. You were on, Rob, and a discussion of box office came up. Someone's like, why is box office so important? It is important. You're seeing how your constituents vote on movies. What is popular? They have voted this week on Demon Slayer. Very popular franchise. But is Hollywood so out of touch that people don't want to see the new movies they make? So they'll see older films, Jaws, Back to the Future, other classic movies that are coming to theaters, or they'll see remixes of movies like Wizard of Oz in the Sphere. They'll see anime, but what Hollywood is serving up as new entertainment, they're not liking. The two biggest hits this year, surprises, Sinners and Weapons in the horror genre. But as a larger question, and I think this ties into, I'm sorry to say, current politics and Kimmel. We're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel later, but his ratings were in the tank. It was reported he was on the verge of getting canceled even before his comments, right? Mm-hmm. So Hollywood just seems wholly out of touch. They've alienated half of America and aren't able to make a movie that appeals to everyone. We all agree, like, this is, when that happens, everyone's talking about this movie. And you were saying earlier, Steph, about like, where's the new things? Kids don't like Star Wars. They're not into Star Wars. That's old people like me. I'm sorry to say. That's what older people used to like. And we'll get to Mandalorian and Grogu, but this larger question, I want to hear everyone weighing in. Like, Hollywood has lost the zeitgeist, and it's important to see the movies that perform. That's why, look, I think box office, I don't like the box office is used as a marketing tool, right? The number one movie in the world. It's because it's the number one from money. That doesn't mean it's a good movie. But movies that resonate, that get into the zeitgeist, there's something about that. It's usually something unpredictable. Please weigh in. And thank you, Dante, for joining us.
I think we have to look at movies.
Put themselves on a pedestal.
I was going to say, I think we have to look at movies now like there's no longer a standard, right? There's no standard. We have kind of gone past the place of the $1 billion weekend every other weekend. Right? We're never going to have that again. We're barely getting to a point now where people are even going to theaters, period. Right? I think it's a mix of a lot of things. Has Hollywood lost the zeitgeist? Sure. But it's a little bit more than that. And this is the rare time I'm going to give Hollywood a break. The rare time. We just have way too many things going on right now. We have a lot of distractions, right? We have YouTube, we have streaming, we have video games. Kids don't care. Let me say that again. Kids don't care about movies. They just don't.
Yeah.
Every now and then there'll be a special movie like Minecraft that'll come along and the kids got to go see it. But outside of that, or a Demon Slayer, outside of that, kids don't care about movies, right? Their attention span is this big. They want to see clips, and then they move on to the next clip, and then they move on to the next clip. The only people who care about movies are people our age, and we're a dying breed, right? So Hollywood's
Hey, I'm close to that.
I'm just saying,
I'm close to death, Dante. Don't do that to me.
I'm just saying, Hollywood's in a rough place, and I don't know, even if they did their best, if they could dig themselves out of this, because I'm not going to say that the day of the movies are gone, but they kind of are.
But they put themselves in this position.
Well, sure, but again, there's a lot of other factors now too, right? They did screw themselves, no doubt about it. With people our age, but I'm talking about with the young ones. They don't care either way.
But that's because they screwed us, and we were the ones showing the younger generations. Kids would love fucking Star Wars right now if they didn't cuck it all up, and we would have passed it on to the next generation. But instead, they gave us no reason to pass on anything new. And they did this.
Yeah, see, I'm the complete opposite. I won't give Hollywood a break. Hollywood put themselves on this pedestal to where they think that everything they put out should be gold, and if you don't like it, you're the problem. They started talking down to the audience as opposed to entertaining the audience. They started, yes, they have all these things going on in the world, and they decided, well, let's take our opinions and put that into our entertainment, and that way it'll reach more people, and we'll be able to talk down to our audience in entertainment, in current entertainment, and everything that they're watching. Not only that, but they also do it when they promote the films. They start saying how, oh, this is great, it's going to be promoted, everybody needs to watch this, this is the right message, we're sending the right message. If you don't see this, if you don't take that message in, then you're a this, you're a that. If you don't support the movie, you're a this, you're a that. Yes, they put themselves in this situation. I will not give them a break. I won't offer an olive branch. I think that they could, and they have been showing that there is a way to reach young people with Minecraft, with Five Nights at Freddy's. They know that there's stuff out there. However, when they do make stuff that is aimed towards kids, they end up putting their messaging in their entertainment, with the exception of like Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft. All of that was made for kids. It's entertainment for kids. We might not understand it. Like Minecraft, I didn't really particularly like it. I loved Five Nights at Freddy's because that's just the game. It was really good. So they're capable and able to make the entertainment for that younger generation. They just don't want to, or they'll hire the wrong people to create that entertainment, and they'll completely take it, change it, put in some messaging in it, and say like, okay, here, we've washed it up, we've made it politically correct, we've inserted everything that we need to insert into this, and here you go, people, here you go, kids, you're gonna love it, you're gonna love our new version of it. And that's not the way to reach kids. And I think that like kids aren't as stupid as you think. They will see that and be like, yeah, that's not what I like, that's not what I grew up liking, I'm just going to reject it all in beforehand and not even watch it. And now with like the general audience, I think that people are relying on reviewers, on reviews, and saying like, okay, what kind of movie is it? Because it has this direct, people are more aware of what Hollywood is producing, and they're relying on reviews and stuff to decide whether or not they're going to even put in the time and the money, because it is very expensive. It's not like it used to be to go to the movies now, to buy the movie ticket, to get the popcorn. They don't want to invest time and money to go and see these projects if it's not any good, if it's not worth their time. And yes, streaming is there. So if they don't want to invest that time, they're curious about it, they'll freaking wait for it to be on streaming, and not VOD, just regular free streaming. They will wait for it to be on streaming. So I won't give Hollywood grace or an olive branch. They did it to themselves.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm not saying that Hollywood's not to blame for a lot of this shit. I mean, they are, but my point is that there's other factors involved besides the fact of them going woke and going broke, right? Like there's other factors at play.
Well, Chris, you asked about zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Movies used to create a zeitgeist moment. And nowadays we don't have that at all. I was thinking about, because I was talking about a movie I particularly like that came out in 1983 called Liquid Sky. And Liquid Sky is it's a very odd punk infused science fiction, sex, comedy, fashion. It's a crazy little movie that was made by a Russian director. That came out in 83. In 84, you had Alex Cox making Repo Man. And so there were movies that were both musically, stylistically Repo Man was set in LA, Liquid Sky was set in New York, and they dealt with different kinds of environments. You had the punk world being examined from two different ways and in two different parts of the country. If you were a cineast, a film fan, these were movies you had to see because they were crazy. First of all, they both had aliens in them, and they were punk rock films, and they were dealing with already existing subcultures in weird ways that we hadn't seen before and put on film, made by people that were not beholden to a studio who told them what they could and couldn't make. Even when you saw people like Steven Soderbergh with his breakthrough Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which was the subject matter was, ooh, that's crazy. A man wants to film women's sex fantasies. And yet that became a fulcrum for the independent film explosion of what became the 90s. And you had Sundance exploding at the time. There is nothing like that in culture anymore. We don't have movies that are defining zeitgeist moments or defining our culture because movies have gotten more expensive to make. And the studios, the only thing the studios are doing that even could be considered that is allowing people like Zach Kreger to make a Barbarian and then make a Weapons. And those movies are one man, one guy's vision. Luckily, he made Barbarian, a $4.5 million movie that went on to make $40 million. And Zach did not take the big money and go make Jurassic World 10. He went instead, made a deal with his producer, Roy Lee, $38 million. They went and made Weapons. That movie's made $250 million. So good on Warner Brothers. Same was true of Ryan Coogler. He could have gone and done another tentpole property, but he's like, nope. I'm going to make a favorable deal with Warner Brothers. I'm going to make Sinners. I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. I'm going to make it with my longtime collaborators that have made my big movies or my smaller movies sing. The studio was in bed with him. He had total control. He owns his movie. He called his own shots. Sinners goes on to make $300 million. What we're missing today is those auteurs, those people that we were interested not necessarily in movies in general, but what those people had to say to culture now. And that's what anime gives you. That's why the creator of One Piece went on to work on the Netflix show, because One Piece is that guy's vision. And what we're missing, especially at the studio level, is visionaries. Christopher Nolan is his own brand. A24 has built a cult of personality around the visions that it's providing to people. Some work, some don't. Sometimes you get an Oscar winner like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sometimes you get Ari Aster and you get Robert Eggers debuting, or you get Harmony Korine doing Spring Breakers. So what we need is that has to happen at the studio level, or we are lost. We need to find visionary people making visionary movies. That's what people are interested in. They're interested in the voice of creators. And kids today and adults, that's why there's, Kojima-san is so renowned. Death Stranding 2 comes out. That's a guy who makes video games that people love. He's revered. And that's what young people have always wanted. They've wanted authentic voices that they can follow, that mean something, that have something to say to them. And we don't have anybody like that anymore why are tentpole properties made by these journeyman directors, and they feel like the new Jurassic World movie had nothing in it that anyone needed to see? It was all rehash. It was all boring. It wasn't edgy. It had nothing to say, and yet we all flocked to see it, and it made $850 million. But what we need now are visionaries that have something to say to people.
You're going to love his Resident Evil movie, Rob. Zach is going to slay it.
Yeah, but the thing about that is he's doing something. I have the script. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe we'll talk later.
Well, yeah. I think we need visionary executives. We need Laddie, right? Look up that documentary, Laddie, Laddie.
But they're not allowed
on
to.
YouTube.
One mistake will get you fired. Look at where Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca were at Warner Brothers before Minecraft opened.
Yeah.
Oh, Joker too.
Well, look, I could talk about this one topic the whole show.
Well, I mean, just add one thing. We're missing comedies.
Paul. Yes. Although I just saw a trailer, it hasn't hit YouTube yet. Farkham Hall, which is a parody of British period dramas, that looks.
I heard about it.
I saw the trailer. It looks great. I saw it before Spinal Tap 2, which I thought was very good. It was not a disappointment. So
Chris, before you move on, just because I didn't want to interrupt anyone, a big thing that we're all missing here is that all the culture war stuff that we've dealt with in the West has completely compromised and ruined a lot of the visions. It's why we don't get independent creators, right? Because they can't offend anyone, DEI, all the fun things. But for the most part, that hasn't happened in the East. So all the manga, because if I say manga, I'll get yelled at. All the manga is still uncorrupted. And that's why it still has a lot of traditional hero characters and values and all the things. And so that is resonating because it turns out that always resonates if you just do it. So now the concern will be that being turned mainstream and corrupted, like we have corrupted every single thing. I'm not saying don't watch, just saying that is now the concern. So gatekeep, people.
Get ready for the Star Wars remake. The original trilogy will get remade, but it will be done anime style. Mark my words. People have been saying for years they're going to remake the original trilogy. Yes, in anime. Let's before we get to the Mandalorian Grogu trailer, let's go to Soups and then we'll do the trailer reaction. Everyone will weigh in. So let's start from the top.
M. Spencer for 5. Horror movie Primate. A fam who chose a pet chimp gets rabies and begins brutally attacking the entire family. I'm tired of all these immigration allegories.
I don't know anything about it, but I don't know. I love horror. I think it says
Gotta
a lot
love that
about,
shirt.
Yeah.
Jennifer Grasso, shout out 199. Shout out to Badger. Shout out Jennifer. Thank you. And shout out to Steph, also Jennifer Grasso for 199.
Shout out.
Andrew Cram gifting up 20 Film Threat memberships.
Thank you. That's huge.
Very generous.
Thank you, Andrew.
Very generous. Biggs 93 for 10. Batman Year One was incredibly disappointing. Way too short and so many things left unexplained. I don't understand why it's considered such a like the comic, the Frank Miller comic.
Yeah.
I like the comic. Maybe he's talking about the animated.
But the animated, I was going to say the animated adaptation is one of the best comic adaptations.
And if he's talking about the Robert Pattinson film, it was actually Batman Year 2.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Thundercats Litterbox for 5. Demon Slayer has a main protagonist that is pure of heart and optimistic. He fails and gets back up. Juxtapose that with the nihilism of Hollywood. Yeah, the Jake Skywalkers.
And his sister is awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about that with that movie Alan and I saw, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which is Colin Farrell, Margot Robbie. It's a romance. It's about your baggage in life preventing you from loving someone. It's a really beautiful film. It got terrible reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but Alan and I both love the movie. It's a very heartwarming, earnest story, but in nihilistic times, I can see why that movie kind of failed. So
if he had a bigger enough package, you would like him better.
Yeah.
Axel's Abode member for 13 months. When will they do a bad live action Demon Slayer?
Next year.
I'm sure it's already in development.
Solo leveling. I want to see solo leveling.
They are doing solo leveling, but it's a Asian production. Royston S. Bailey for 2 are top Hollywood execs held accountable for losses.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, wait, that's a bad example.
How about Bob Iger?
They fail upwards. So no, they don't.
Feige lost a bunch of money in a row on a bunch of different projects. Did anyone say anything to him?
He's still there.
Royston S. Bailey for 2. How do I reach those kids?
Exactly.
There's usually a school around the corner.
They're not allowed within 30.
The girls are wearing
30 yards.
You know.
Jeremiah Hembry for 5.
Well, that's not the question he asked. Sorry.
Oh, that's true. Even stuff like Mobile Suit Gundam, which sometimes goes into politics, still makes it enjoyable to watch. Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Shout out. Royston S. Bailey for 2. Hot take. Hollywood has become a complete racket. Hot take. It always was.
Yep.
Adrian for 20. What about a streaming service like Netflix partnering with an AMC for their originals like A Stranger Things? Each episode of the last season is basically a movie. Anyways, release them 2 weeks apart from each other.
I said something like this already, where Netflix should create their own theater where they play all their stuff, and they will discount any individual with a Netflix account and give a deal to anyone without a Netflix account.
Well, they actually own a theater in Los Angeles called the Egyptian. They
They do,
remodeled
right?
it. It's
Yeah,
a
I believe they own
beautiful
others as
theater.
well.
They-
I
they-
think they own others as well across the country.
Yeah,
Like
so
what-
whenever they do a premiere in Los Angeles, it's always at the Egyptian on Hollywood.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
when you come to town next, Paul, we'll
Okay.
go there. That theater is epic. It's spectacular. The remodel. You've been Rob, right?
Yeah.
The Egyptian. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, again, that was Alien opened there in 1979.
Oh,
You know, that's one of the great LA theaters, but they've done a great job
So
refurbishing.
Netflix plays their stuff there?
Yeah, and
they
they also
do.
play at the Paris Theater in New York City.
yeah.
but it's
so
only
cute.
2 theaters.
Well, to Paul's point, there's probably a bunch of theaters that will be going out of business that you could buy up for the cheap. And
But I think that Netflix doesn't want to get into theatrical
Nope.
at all.
same.
No, they don't care about theatrical at all.
No, it's
No, but my point is for their subscribers, like having that Apple Store synergy,
yeah.
not a movie synergy per se, but if you're a Netflix subscriber and you're at the top tier, you get in for $1.
Right.
Right?
But they
If
don't
you're
need
not
it.
a Netflix subscriber, every ticket you buy at the theater is actually a discount on your subscription. The goal should be about maintaining their subscription base. That's why I'm thinking that the movie theater handled that way would make some sense. But anyway,
The problem is Netflix is on top and Netflix is growing.
Oh,
So,
so
what
sad.
they're doing is working, and they're not going to veer from that.
330 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Pigs 93 for 2 talking about I was indeed talking about the Frank Miller comic, which is so successful it spawned an army of figures and comics and adaptations.
Wait, do
I don't
that
know, man.
again, Badger.
Oh.
Just-
Sorry, it's specifically the year one from Frank Miller. Yeah,
great.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you found lacking in it, but I think it's a pretty good encapsulation of his first year.
Well, it's the way he's
Working with
holding that
Gordon.
old batarang or whatever.
I
It
got
Where
has
does
one of
Dark
my
Knight
favorite
fit into
panels and
that?
comics in it.
The jumping out of the smoke or the
No,
UAV
the one of Commissioner Gordon sitting on the edge of his bed,
Oh, yeah.
kind of looking down, just the melancholy. It captured one man's state of mind, I think, better than almost any panel I've ever. A normal man, not a superhero.
Jian Yu, shout out.
I mean, yeah, great,
No,
great.
it's a
stuff.
great comic.
Thank you for gifting 5 Film Threat memberships. Appreciate that. Okay, I think it's time. And before we look at the trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, I want to get some commentary. What do you think of this poster? Look at this poster. It's to me, it looks like Raiders of the Lost Mandalorian. This is an old 1920s serial trailer adventure movie. It kind of breaks a lot of the rules. Like Grogu is on the poster twice.
3
So
times.
Yeah, is it 3?
He's on the speeder with Mando in the bottom right too.
And then
Uh,
it just I don't know. This is
Do you guys know who that guy is with the ears? Next, I do. I just want to know if you guys know because no
Abu
one pays
Frick?
attention. No, the guy below Sigourney Weaver. That's
No.
Zeb from Rebels. Star Wars
Yeah.
Rebels. You guys all watch Star Wars Rebels, right?
No,
Yeah. Well, I did.
I know,
Yeah.
but the
So-
joke is most people will not. Who is
what
that?
do we think of this poster? I'll say this. Based on all the other posters for the Star Wars sequel movies, I thought they were very lame, very low effort. At least they're trying. I still think it's not great, but they tried.
It's
This
not
is the
great, but
way.
you know what? It's not terrible either. It's not bad. I think is it going to get people to go watch it? Who knows? I doubt it, but it's not a bad poster.
It's the earth tone colors, the orange of it all, the desert look of it that just kind of turns me off.
Oh, I hope we see Tatooine. I like if you're searching
Uh-huh.
for adventure, this is the way, huh? Remember, because they say this is the way. Huh?
Well,
Yeah,
I think they needed a title, a real title.
yeah.
yes,
Like
yes.
the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, you know, we all know that's the man with no name, but it's fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
The Mandalorian and Grogu is that's not a title. That's just a statement of characters.
That's literally they put it on the schedule as that's the name of the movie, then suddenly it becomes the name of the movie. I'll just say this at the risk of sounding sexist, and why stop now? It looks like too many women were involved in this. Guys if you show this to any man who's a real Star Wars fan, they would tell you this poster is lame and the title is lame. They needed more male energy because the whole, if you're searching for a new adventure, this is the way.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so lame.
It also looks like they took frame grabs from things and just put them together and then painted over them.
There's no
This is
sense
an
of
AI.
Yeah,
overlay.
there's no
AI
like
shit.
you know the great
Yeah.
posters when you have like Tom Jung who painted the first Star Wars one sheet, or you had Drew Struzan who did the prequel stuff, even though they changed
or
it
Luke
around.
with his shirt open, and then Princess Leia with her legs
Way
sticking
more
out.
That's Tom Jung or Young's poster, and this doesn't. There's no sense of design in this. It's like,
It's a
why
custom.
would, if Sigourney Weaver is like a heavy or some kind of authoritarian, why is she looking like that? And why is she there in the poster?
She's a New Republic general.
And
She
and
should
you
be much
don't
more
you don't
prominent.
put characters facing off the center
Never.
of the picture.
Yeah,
Never.
she's looking away from
Yeah,
the poster.
that's not
She's
what
looking,
you do.
You make characters look inward.
Correct.
Because your eye, look, I read
But you
dumb
can tell
design
with
books.
Grogu and the
recreational.
Mandalorian because they're looking out at the adventure they're about to jump into,
Right.
and they're the biggest, they're the most prominent on the poster.
And Grogu should be in a Princess Leia bikini.
There should be a sexy woman on the poster. And literally all these elements. That's why I mean, I'm sorry.
Sigourney's not doing it?
A lot
No,
there
no.
were-
Sexy woman looking sexy on a
there
poster.
were layers of approval that included many women who looked at this and said, we can't have a sexy woman on the poster.
Do not
I
offend us in
promise
any
you.
way in this poster.
Like, there will be nothing that will offend our female fans. That's why they've all but supplanted, suppressed, gotten rid of anything with
Chris,
the slave Leia outfit.
I
I'm
promise
sorry.
you the reason is because there's no fucking sexy women in this movie. That's why. It's not because
Well,
they were
that's
afraid. There's
also
literally
true.
going to be, yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, Sigourney Weaver's character may as well be a Kathleen Kennedy proxy, as far as I'm concerned. So just based on the poster, let's actually look at the trailer now. I'm going to bring that up on screen, and I may pause it. If anyone has a comment, please let me know, and I will pause.
To me, this is a Bob Hope, Bing Crosby road movie, and it should have been called Road to Tatooine or something.
Right,
with Dorothy Lamour.
Even that would have been, yeah, like, you know, look, The Empire Strikes Back is the best title, but even Attack of the Clones, I remember hearing it grew on me.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, that's a badass title that echoes Return of the Jedi. And The Phantom Menace is very inspired by old serials, right? Like,
it's a terrible title.
Yeah, I got it. It's Baby Yoda kicks ass. How about that?
Mandalorian and the green fucker. Sorry.
Right.
That's the
I mean,
OG
if anyone wants me to pause, please speak up, but it's 94 seconds.
His ship, which blew up in the series and is now back somehow.
Oh, stop it.
Which nobody knows.
Razor Crest.
That's
Thank
the
you.
volume.
That's the volume. By the way,
Oh my God.
Babu Frick
Babu
or
Frick.
a Babu Frick character. This was shown a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is old. This has been around.
Wow.
And it's more of a teaser. Well, it was shown not publicly. It showed, then it showed up online, and now it's now officially released. So let's continue.
There we go. Everyone applaud.
I was an alien and Aliens and the good Alien movies.
Galaxy
we
Quest,
use
man.
their set. Hey.
Is she looking at the menu at Space Denny's?
Yeah, is
What
this the way you introduce Sigourney Weaver into the Star Wars universe with this shot?
That's
Well, she's
interesting.
menacing. You can tell.
How come she's not in her underwear?
They have really good happy hour at this bar.
Her hips hurt. She didn't want to stand.
Diner.
It's-
Okay.
This is so boring. Right.
Yeah.
You would introduce her doing something badass,
Yes.
not ordering off the menu
That's
at
funny.
Space Denny's.
Good point.
Oh, it's so cute.
Do they have appetizers?
She
And
has
it's
the
a joke we've
peanuts.
seen played out many times in the series.
Yeah, that's
My
a joke.
chips.
They've done that 20 times.
No, you don't understand. He's pulling the ball to him, and then she's stopping him.
She's mean.
That's
He's so
happening.
cute.
It's okay. Look, Baby Yoda will never not be cute. But are we going to see Baby Chewbacca?
We're tired.
Are we going to see Baby Size Noodles? Wait, we already did in Skeleton Crew. Oh God.
Yeah.
Stop
So that
it.
was
What was that?
big, that was like a big
bucket of
hallway
puppets.
fight. Let me go back.
We just saw a bucket of puppets. Yeah, there
Was
it is.
that Babu Freak's family?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
This is a hallway fight. This is being overused in all action movies. Every action movie from Ballerina to John, everything's got a hallway action. It's boring. People
Because of
bouncing off the
Daredevil.
walls.
Look how that's
They
framed.
use the
Daredevil,
same-
yes.
They use the same stunt coordinators that reuse their greatest hits. It's getting boring.
No, but look, he's jumping for some reason.
That's Zeb.
I
You're
always-
gonna love
I
him.
always look to Star Wars for innovation. You know, George Lucas was always tight-lipped, secure, because he didn't want his ideas. Hollywood, he knew Hollywood would rip him off, even though the biggest Hollywood ripoff was Battlestar Galactica, the original.
Let's also not
And-
forget that George Lucas was always pushing the bounds of cinematic storytelling.
Yes.
Always looking for new ways of doing things, new ways of telling stories.
But the
And no one
volume.
does that anymore.
Now, look, everybody looks very diverse in this shot. So,
So diverse.
which
None
is
of
very
aliens.
diverse.
except for
I
the
don't see a lot of aliens, though. Here we go.
Not a lot of
What
Asians.
are they cheering? Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
that's Jeremy Allen White from The Bear.
Is that
That's Jabba's
Wait.
son, the Glad.
Yeah.
That's the actual point of the movie. Is they're hired to protect this guy from another bounty hunter from the Clone Wars that you guys also didn't watch.
So Jeremy Allen White, who I think is a really great actor, he's providing the voice for this
Well, maybe he
character.
drags himself around and does
Maybe-
body capture. I don't know.
Oh
He's probably
my
wearing the
God.
ping
Blood's
pong
on
ball.
steroids. Look at his
Okay.
arms.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a beefcake, yo.
Oh my
It's
God.
Gladiator.
That's ridiculous. So Grogu's motivation is he really likes snacks.
There it is.
Yeah.
And
I
here's
can
some rob-
honestly see, like, I've seen multiple shots of Grogu already that can be used to promote the movie. Like grab your popcorn and go watch Grogu, go watch The Mandalorian Grogu. And
Popcorn bucket.
being used
Ooh.
as like specific gifts to promote the movie. That's all I'm seeing with all the Grogu shots. Even with like Grogu with Babu Freak's family in the car. Like, take your family, go out to see the movie. Like, they make that a gift. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
The robot fight.
Good animation.
Yeah, this CGI looks real rough for something that's been done for over a year.
And this is their big shot.
Yeah,
I
like,
know.
Robert,
Am I
am I insane?
supposed to be sad?
That doesn't look good.
No.
Another cute creature.
Good shot, baby.
That looks
Good
terrible.
shot, baby. Who is that?
Baby
That was-
Yoda. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my
You
God.
see the
All
way
right.
they ran away? They ran away like this, like a hand puppet.
Like they're puppets.
Yes.
They are
This is,
literally
this is
puppets.
This is a Jim Henson production.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
It
my
looks like it.
God.
Okay. So what everyone's thoughts will go around the horn. Chime in. Everybody.
You know what? I had Andor. I'm good. You know,
Yes.
I'm good. You know, and
Yeah.
Andor was a nice finale for me for Star Wars. That I liked it. It ended well. I don't need to see anything else from Lucasfilm ever again.
The other thing also is you have to have done research to understand this movie or to even be interested in this movie. But I dare say that there's many people who watched The Mandalorian as have read the extended universe books.
How dare you?
Let
I'm
me ask you guys
surprised that
this.
we
Like,
didn't
like,
get-
and I'm kind of curious about this. Well, do kids even talk about Baby
Nope.
Yoda?
No.
Do
This
kids
movie is
care about
really
Baby
late.
Yoda?
Those adults.
Yeah, I feel like the Baby Yoda hype has already died down. It's too late, too little, too late. I'm actually surprised that they didn't have Pedro Pascal remove his helmet and show his face.
He will.
At least for the movie, so that his fans can be like, "Oh my god, Pedro Pascal!" But they didn't even do that. They didn't do
They
that
had
in
a
the
moment.
trailer. That's one
had a
thing that
moment.
surprised me. But I think that the hype for the Mandalorian has really died down. This movie has come way too late. Nobody's going to care about it. And I honestly don't think that it'll be as successful as they're hoping it'll be.
Book of Boba Fett turned off a lot of people that were on the Mandalorian train, and Kenobi. And
Another thing about this film is there's really nothing new in it. Like, one of the interesting things about when, like, the Empire Strikes Back trailer originally dropped, we got to see AT-ATs for the first time. Like, what the hell is that? Why are they battling in the snow? They went somewhere where we'd never seen in the first Star Wars. It was the total antithesis. They showed us Bespin, a cloud city. You're seeing twin pod cloud cars, and you're seeing things you've never seen before.
But that was George Lucas's rules.
Right, but yeah, and now all they're doing is they're giving us, like, remember this. Where's the new? If we know the Razor Crest is blown up, we know he had an N1 Naboo starfighter. Is somehow Jonathan Voico made the joke today. Somehow the Razor Crest returned, and it's like that. Why are you? Is this movie a prequel? Does this movie take place before the Razor Crest was destroyed?
I have one. The best way to describe this is that this is Disney's How to Train Your Dragon. I think this is going to be successful. It has the feeling of How to Train Your Dragon. Forget about all the facts.
But people still like those.
Right. But if Disney were smart, they should have capped the budget around $100 million.
Sure. I have no idea how much they spent, but the tone of this, you know what? I taking this on its own as if nothing else existed prior to it.
So were they, I think.
I think this has got I think they've got something good happening here.
It's
successful.
It'll have an appeal to kids.
Yes, correct. This was
this was supposed to be the last season that got changed and switched into a movie. Like, this is going to be a hodgepodge of fuckery, basically.
But to your point, though, what kids are excited about this? I mean, you're just going to do it based on a trailer like that?
Who you're talking about?
It comes out.
Anybody. I mean,
it comes out 7 years after the last Star Wars movie was in a theater. I mean, Rise of Skywalker effectively ended Star Wars being a theatrical property.
I don't think this is the audience for that movie.
Okay.
I don't think that movie audience is the audience for this one.
I'd be
The
curious to
Mandalorian
see,
audience?
Who is the audience you think is
So-
going to...
exactly.
like everyone
I
else.
think that the Mandalorian audience would be the target audience for
Yes.
this movie.
Yeah,
I
but
would
is
say
there
The
enough of
Mandalorian,
them
yeah.
to generate
Season
excitement
1.
about wanting to see this movie?
Right.
Yeah, I looked it up here. The estimated budget is roughly 140 to 160 million.
That's cheap. So it was probably all on. It is all the volume. A lot of effects and green screen. Not a lot of locations.
Yeah, shot
And
in
yeah,
California, by the way.
Under 200
Yeah,
million.
it was shot out in Manhattan Beach Studios.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have made this movie for 60 million? It's two episodes of a TV show.
The thing I won't like is if they reassemble the Mandalorian homeless team.
Yeah.
That to me was the most egregious part of this, because the very first Mandalorian was David Carradine Kung Fu, going from town to town doing shit. And then they subsequently, in each subsequent series, screwed it up more and more and more. So yeah, I will. I'm dreading that it's going to become the Mandalorian team.
They need to explain what the point of this is, because it ended
They
with
don't-
them retiring in a fucking house, and like, that's it. We're retired. We got our happy ending. And this is all supposed to lead into, if it's successful, Dave Filoni doing his Ahsoka wrap up heir to the Empire ripoff. So is the whole point this just leading to the end? But like, we've instead of Nick Fury, it's going to be Ahsoka. I got a mission for you.
Well, here's how you save the movie. Sneak in Cara Dune.
That's correct. I was just gonna say that.
I'm sure it's
Stan,
not.
Luke Skywalker.
Now
It's
that
not
we're-
unheard of for Star Wars to do reshoots.
Yeah, they could do reshoots. They could shoehorn her in now that they've reached a settlement. That would show some goodwill.
Yep.
And it would
draw people to the theaters.
Would there be outrage about it? Honestly,
Yes.
I think there would be from a fringe element, and no
a
one
fringe
would care.
element. The fringe element is the element celebrating Charlie Kirk. They're the same people that's called Gina a Nazi. It's literally you would piss off the
What I'm
same
saying
people
is
upset about all of
Those
that.
are not the majority of people. They're fringe.
Yeah, those
Small
people are not
percentage.
going to see a Star Wars movie.
No.
Yeah. I used to think it's fringe. It's not fringe, man. It's a significant portion of their current people watching Star Wars.
Of which is a very small minority.
I think it's a small minority.
I just think, Chris, you guys remember when the X-Files jumped from TV to the movies?
Yeah,
That
the
movie,
was not great.
but
Like
it
the feature?
looked like a movie. You know, you went from a 4:3 screen to widescreen. You know, it looked different than any X-Files episode. You could tell from the trailer that it felt big screen. The movie was not entirely successful, but this doesn't differentiate itself. It looks like a trailer for another episode.
I agree.
And I think you have to figure out a way, if you're going to do this, to announce right away to your audience that this is something you have to see on the big screen.
It's an event.
You know, like Steph was saying earlier, wait for streaming. You know, you've got to tell your audience, you have to convince them that, you know, if you don't want to go to the theater, you've got 3 seasons of this to watch. And what is different about this? How do you make audiences convinced that they need to go out to the theater and pay hard money to see it?
It's funny.
Here's
One
another
of the
question.
best comments, real quick, Alan, real quick. One of the best comments I saw about the trailer was forged for IMAX, lit for television, because it just it looks like the TV show.
Yeah.
It also doesn't look like Andor, which looked theatrical.
Yeah.
Because it was
Andor
shot on
looked
so
like
many
a
real
movie.
locations.
Andor looked like an epic movie. Sorry, Alan.
Yeah,
please.
no, I just want to ask an important question. Where did we leave off with the Mandalorian?
Right. Good question.
No,
Bo-Katan-
what happened
Bo-Katan
at
is
the
now
end
the
of that
leader of
leads
the
to this?
Mandalorians.
He was retired in a house on Mandalore or whatever.
And they lived happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
I'll tell you the one egregious thing for me in this trailer is seeing the slow walkers walking along the edge of a cliff.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Right.
Why would they
Why?
do that?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, why would they drop them off?
What
at a
military
less
reason?
precarious?
It's an open field weapon.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
slow walker is there to traverse large flat expanses, not to become goats.
Right.
It's the little ones with the 2 legs. Those are the ones that go up mountains.
Well, if we're lucky, we'll get Jack Black and Lizzo in this too. So
I will say that after this trailer has dropped, Pedro Pascal has not promoted it on his social media after backing Jimmy Kimmel, and it's not like he hasn't been active because he has posted 2 stories today, but nothing
Well, yeah, he's in
promoting The
solidarity with Jimmy
Mandalorian and
Kimmel.
Grogu.
I'll say this. We're going to talk about Kimmel next, but this ties in. The fact they dropped it today and announced Kimmel is back tomorrow, all of that, because this trailer was supposed to come out a couple weeks ago, and then all hell broke loose in the world. So I don't know. This is.
Well, I'll tell you why Pedro
curious
Pascal's not
timing.
promoting. I'll tell you why he's not promoting it, because he's not in the movie.
Yeah, he's spent a couple days doing VO. He might have worked a day or two.
no, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he dropped the trailer today. It's because over the weekend their servers went down from people canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions.
Ooh.
That many people dropped their Disney Plus, and that's why they dropped this trailer
Over
today.
Kimmel?
Yes.
Really? Is that the fuck?
By the way, did you watch WrestlePalooza over the weekend on ESPN?
No.
No. Because I don't have
Dante,
ESPN.
If you missed it, Jimmy was announced that he's coming back, so that's why they dropped it. Now we've capitulated. Now we can release our shitty trailer that no one is going to watch because we turned them all apathetic.
Did you think it's connected?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. It's a shame that we all tried to get them to cancel Disney Plus. GraphWeb goes on every goddamn channel and makes me sing "Cancel Disney Plus," and all they had to do was
Can't believe you did
spin
that for
Jimmy
free.
for his horrible distortion of news and violation of his broadcast license.
We're devolving into Jimmy talk, so I think let's
sorry.
go. No, it's okay. Let's go to Soups, and then we'll pivot.
Jan Hugh for 5 gifted Film Threat memberships. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Cash Kester, member for 20 months. Would you say a suspicious amount of women?
100%. I would say that. I feel like it's like, I don't want to say it's like, but I just think certain things, like it's better if a group of mostly men work on it. So it has male energy. Now, Star Wars had some significant contributions by women, but I hate to say they were in the minority. And it is at the end
Editing.
According to George Lucas, it's for 14-year-old boys.
Anthony DeAndrea for 5. The Mandalorian Grogu sounds like a bad vaudeville mind-reading act.
Arnak.
Day Trapera for 100 Martian pesos. Will Lizzo and Jack Black make an appearance in this cinematic masterpiece?
I demand it.
If Dante has anything to say about it, Lizzo will
Bring him back.
Favreau's idea because he saw his kids watching them on TikTok. Dino's Reviews. Shout out. He became a member. He did it himself.
Thank you, Dino.
And then Naveen. Shout out Naveen, member for 8 months. At this point, even Sydney Sweeney can't save Star. Well, let's not be too hasty.
She does have nice at-ats.
I'd argue that.
C.G. Stein, 69. Member for 22 months. Hashtag Badger ain't wrong and cancel Disney Plus.
You didn't sing it this time, but that's okay.
Well, only GraphWeb gets mad.
Guess what? Jimmy Kimmel is back. There's a lot of stories about this from the Substack of Sasha Stone, who I recommend you follow on social media. Follow her Substack. Jimmy Kimmel's back on ABC. And this literally broke as the show started. And here's a list of the names of people who were in support of Jimmy. It's a lot of names here.
Yeah.
Of people
None of them supported Gina, but
yeah, but this is new news. There are other stories about this. What's okay? We know the situation. He came out, said some comments, and people were none too happy. And you know, his show was put on temporary hiatus. Looking back at all of this, he was, if you believe his ratings were so bad, was getting no traction. It wasn't necessarily Disney per se. It was the affiliates who said, we don't want to run it. We can't sell ads. He
Over
gets
60.
no traction. Yeah. So he was in danger of having the show canceled anyways. I almost think all this hullabaloo was a distraction that now creates more interest, and he's back on air on Tuesday this week.
Well, yeah, a bunch of people will watch it now.
The list of actors signing, this isn't really correct. I had found out that they had thought that they were signing the pro-terrorist list, but they signed this one by mistake.
That's a lot of names. That's a lot.
Yeah, I did the math on this. Why? Because I'm Asian. But each episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live cost $250,000. The ratings they were getting was 129,000 viewers. That's roughly $2 a viewer
in the prime demographic.
Wow.
But he has 20 million YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, and all 20 of them watch every single clip on
I don't know if you have
just like ours does.
I do.
I don't know if we have notes for this story, but this is from the Hollywood Reporter. This literally broke as we went live.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel is back after a turbulent week marked by political pressure, media outrage, and a national debate on free speech. Jimmy Kimmel is set to return to ABC following a brief suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Disney explained its decision in a statement Monday, noting, last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. After thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. Controversy began after Kimmel made a vaguely worded open-air remark about Charlie Kirk's assassin, which some interpreted as linking the suspect to MAGA conservatives. The comment quickly went viral, promoting FCC Chair Brendan Carr to Man, I don't like their verbiage here. To threaten ABC's affiliate licenses, major station groups Nexstar and Sinclair soon announced they would preempt Kimmel's show, a move critics say reeked of political pressure, despite Nexstar's insistence that its decision was independent of Carr's threats. Behind the scenes, Kimmel reportedly refused to issue an apology, intending instead to argue his remarks had been grossly mischaracterized by MAGA supporters. Disney executives, fearing escalation, suspended the show indefinitely, drawing backlash from across the political and entertainment spectrum. Figures ranging from California Governor Gavin Newsom to former President Barack Obama condemned the suspension as an attack on free speech, with Obama saying the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators it doesn't like. Hollywood unions, including WGA, called it acts of corporate cowardice, while FCC Commissioner Ana M. Gomez criticized her own chair's actions as unconstitutional censorship. Celebrities such as Ben Stiller, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Mark Maron also voiced support for Kimmel, with Maron writing, "This is what authoritarianism looks like in this country. It's happening." Despite Kimmel's return, Sinclair has signaled it will continue preempting the show unless the host apologizes, meets with its representatives, and donates to Turning Point, Charlie
That's what
Kirk's
I wanted to know.
organization. Yeah. Kimmel's future with ABC remains uncertain as his contract ends next year, leaving open the question of whether this controversy will push him into retirement or convince him to stay and fight. What a compromised article that one was.
Well, here's the bottom line. Let's go to the show was losing money.
Yeah.
The show's ratings are in the toilet, worse than Colbert. It wasn't making money. And the affiliates, the local, they sell local ads on the same show. They couldn't sell ads, and they got complaints from people locally. I think this is purely financial. I think the late show format is a dead format, anyways. So that's part of it. But the big question is, I'm sure it'll come up. What's he going to say when he comes back? Because he had planned to double down.
Well, didn't oh my gosh, I can't remember the broadcaster tell him that he had to do an apology.
It was Nexstar, right? It was Nexstar. Yeah.
Nexstar. Well, Sinclair is the one saying that they're going to preempt him until he apologizes.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if he will apologize. I personally think put it on Disney Plus, put it behind a paywall. All the people who canceled Disney Plus can show their support for Jimmy Kimmel by resubscribing to Jimmy Kimmel, or by resubscribing to Disney Plus, and just all for the Jimmy Kimmel show.
I would just point out, though, that he has 20 million subscribers on YouTube. His channel has 13 billion views. He is the 302nd largest subscriber on the entire YouTube platform. He's the 142nd biggest subscribed to channel from the US. And he's probably pulled down $100 million from his YouTube channel alone.
I don't know. Put
but
subs aside.
That's still behind Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy Fallon was the one that really used YouTube to its advantage, and put out all specifically did little segments on his show that were specifically made for YouTube content. Yep. So that's still behind Jimmy Fallon. So even Jimmy Fallon has him beat on the YouTube front.
Sure, but I mean, in terms of this is just secondary marketing, and that isn't insubstantial. In terms of, I think, look, broadcast television is dying, not just the late night talk shows, but broadcast television in general. That's why people like Piers Morgan have moved exclusively onto YouTube, and it makes it look like he has a show on some network, but he really doesn't.
But Robert, I'm also looking at his videos, and it's like, this is comparable to Drinker and Gary do better numbers than this, and they don't cost $15 million a year and $200,000 an episode to produce their content. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that the discussion at Disney is, well, at least he gets YouTube numbers.
No, but it's a continuum in terms of
I understand
how much
but to keep him on and to keep the show going in the current format at the current prices at his $15 million salary, I'm not sure YouTube is the key factor that's keeping him in business.
No, I don't think it is. It's just one of many factors.
Yeah. But it's a clip channel. YouTube, he's not doing content for YouTube.
No.
This is the clip bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
I'm
taking
sure
previously
YouTube is-
existing content and monetizing it.
Yeah,
The
and I'm
clips
sure
are
YouTube is
all over. The clips are all over the place. Like 50,000 views, 100,000 views. But when he talks about Trump, it's like 2 million views.
What do
Yeah.
you think he'll do exclusively when he gets kicked onto just
No,
YouTube one day?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
Well,
But that's just look at his
Stephen
views in the
Colbert
last-
has to be somewhere seething right now.
yeah, he's still
I think we're going to see what people have been talking about, that they're going to set up their own venture somewhere.
Well, I think this is an interesting play. I think the Hollywood gang decided that this is a First Amendment argument, which it's not. But the more you repeat a lie, the more people are going to believe it. So, I mean, what's the point? And then I think with, as I think I've already said that this was the left's Charlie Kirk moment. That firing Kimmel was, that they needed to stand up for their guy, while
Paul,
the
he literally
quote
said,
unquote
"We are
right was standing up for
Jimmy
their
Kimmel."
guy.
And the
Remember
difference is Jimmy
Colbert?
Kimmel's coming back on Tuesday.
That's
Exactly.
that's
No, but
the
to
difference.
Paul's
Yes.
point, they literally tried to turn it into it's completely not the same. Clearly, a
not.
man being murdered, assassinated for
Leave that
speaking
up.
is not the same.
If
And
you'd
this
read
is
that
proof
bad
of how
joke.
little they thought of Kirk. This is evidence
Yeah.
Yes.
of their scheming little narrow view of just owning the chud.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
If you would read
Well, I think
Gary
they
from
look-
Nerdrotic.
Sorry, Steph, real quick. Shout out Gary. Jimmy Kimmel returns this Tuesday night after being briefly suspended for speech. Charlie Kirk is still dead after being assassinated
Yeah.
for his speech. Correct.
Exactly. I really think that they put Jimmy Kimmel on a pedestal and made him their like the Democratic leftist side version of Charlie Kirk,
Yep.
because they were looking really bad and they needed something, to stand by. They needed their own sort of, for lack of better words, poster boy for
Mhm.
free speech, and they chose Jimmy Kimmel of all
Well,
people. But
he's the first person to ever lose a show on television.
they chose Jimmy Kimmel as if it's the same exact thing, which it is not. I doubt that. I think I saw somewhere on X that Charlie Kirk's memorial service all across YouTube channels got over 100 million viewers.
And X. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
the first social media assassination.
Yeah.
And you have an
Yep.
entire generation that watched a man who was
Mhm.
on a college campus trying to promote dialogue assassinated with as many cameras on him. I mean, no assassination in history is more well documented on a college campus. I mean, this is going to be talked about and looked at for decades to come.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, because I see this, like, you guys are supposed to be against cancel culture. This isn't cancel culture. Had Jimmy said what he said on his tweet, it would just be another shitty tweet that he did, and that would have been the end of it. He said it on broadcast television where you have certain responsibilities. It wasn't even a joke. He was doing his opening monologue, and it was a clear distortion of the news. He said something he knew to be false when it was verifiably proven.
And
And-
again,
and-
but
and-
Jimmy
and-
Kimmel
and-
wasn't canceled.
And by the way,
cancel culture
back
is
on the
bringing
air.
up someone's 10-year-old tweets and canceling them because they made a bad joke. That's cancel culture. Endorsing the murder of someone publicly and all these people getting fired for that, that's not cancel culture. That's the actual consequence culture. I would
Yeah.
not want someone working for me that advocated for the open murder of a fellow citizen for their
And- and-
speech.
an employer has the right to fire you for whatever reason they want.
Exactly.
For whatever reason, they can fire you just because they don't like you. So this has nothing to do with cancel culture. The people who
Corporations do
paid
not
Jimmy
have to
Kimmel
follow the First
what he
Amendment.
had to say, and so they got rid of him. Well,
Yeah.
temporarily, I guess.
Two things. What Jimmy Kimmel said was not funny. It wasn't funny.
What a joke.
I'm sorry. I just don't think that I don't like his sense of humor. I liked him when he was on the Man Show. Very funny. Nothing he's done has been funny to me on late night. Secondly, it was intentionally intended to mislead. He lied about what were, proven. He lied and misled. And this is the culmination. And Jimmy contributed to this of constantly calling people on the other side of the political aisle all sorts of heinous names intended to dehumanize, opening the door to doing something awful like what happened to Charlie. This is what pushed me away, is you're calling my friends these names. You're dehumanizing. Try going out in LA and wearing a red hat. Even if it's a Cincinnati Reds hat. Try wearing a red hat in LA. I dare you. I have a hat that's red that says "Make Movies Great Again." I don't have a "Make America Great Again" hat. I just don't, but I have that red hat. Do you think I'd be safe walking around wearing that hat? No, because people feel entitled to do terrible things to people because they've been told over and over again on the news, on comedy shows, I say that in quotes, that these people are awful people.
By the way, proving Gina Carano right, because that's what her resharing of an Instagram story was.
Yeah.
You turned half the
was.
population against the other population, and that's why a bunch of atrocities were able to happen, because you actively weaponized
But
them.
you know what? I don't think this would have happened.
You've turned regular American citizens against their neighbors to the point where they are actively celebrating when someone is assassinated. They're celebrating, cheering. They don't care. They're happy that he's gone. And that's the end point to dehumanizing someone. You dehumanize them. You call them names to where if something happens to them, like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That you lose that sympathy and that sympathy for your neighbor, for your regular American citizen, to the point where if something bad happens to them, like Charlie Kirk, you are able to justify it in your mind that it's totally okay to celebrate it because this man has been called a Nazi, a fascist, a misogynist, a homophobic person. Like, that's totally fine. Like, they've dehumanized Charlie Kirk so much that people are able to justify that it is okay to celebrate this man's death. This man's death is totally fine. Like, that's where all of this rhetoric has led to.
Well, you Americans, I'm just a northerner from Canada.
We annex you.
Thank you for having me on still. I think that the Hollywood gang were able to weaponize badly thought through statements from Carr, and Trump is Trump. So, I'm not going to tell Donald to stop talking the way he talks about stuff. That's just his style.
And Carr,
right? I think the thing that Carr said was a huge mistake.
Telling someone, if you guys don't clean your room on your own, we might have to exercise things to get you to clean your room, i.e. stop having your people with broadcast licenses willfully distort the news, which is what was happening, unchecked, unfettered.
Yeah.
And
that's what Carr said.
I think
that's not a threat.
But he specifically mentioned Kimmel, that he needs to go or something like that because
Someone
he broke
brought
the
it up.
rules or something
That's what I'm
along that. Am I correct?
No, you're incorrect. That's what I'm saying. If you
incorrect.
read his actual thing, he's brought up and he's like, yeah, that's another example. The point is, it was not a threat. It was an intimation that he would be doing something he should have been doing from the get-go.
True, but you understand it can be easily turned around and weaponized. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah, well,
And
since you brought him up, there's other things going on. There's like Nexstar. They're trying to get rid of the 39% rule in terms of who can own stations as well, which is so Nexstar is a conglomerate that owns a lot of broadcast stations. In the United States, you're only allowed to have 39% of the stations that cover a certain region because they don't want one group
monopoly
to monopolize the airwaves with one point of view. They are in the middle of a merger, a $6 billion merger with another company. Nexstar is. They are trying to get the FCC to remove that cap, the 39% cap. They're doing this before the midterm elections. And so there is a lot of other shenanigans happening in addition to this. This was an excuse, but the FCC chairman is being heavily lobbied, and so is the Trump administration, to remove, like all the other guardrails in our country, are being systematically removed, like the food, the safe food thing was, the data is no longer allowed to be released as of last Friday, because of the Trump administration, which is worrisome. It's worrisome that they want to remove more of the guardrails that are protecting. As a matter of fact, they're waiting. I think Trump might be speaking right now. They were going to tie Tylenol to autism today. And they're waiting for people. Trump was he was waiting. They were waiting for him to go live, I think, when this show started. Right. So there's a lot of other things going on that we should be much more worried about than Jimmy Kimmel's on or off the air, especially when it comes to our broadcast.
I think Kimmel is back to save face.
Yeah.
The pushback from the industry was so widespread, and Hollywood likes Kimmel, that he's the show they go to promote their films and TV shows and award shows and all of that. It's a promotional vehicle. So even running at a loss, the show has value for ABC.
And the studio's right across the street from the Chinese and the Kodak Theater.
It's a tourist attraction too. Yeah. Like, you see it every time you go to Hollywood. There it is. That's where Kimmel is shot. So
it's true. The promoters don't want to lose yet another venue for them to promote their stuff. It's true.
So of course they'd be in support. Let's go to Soups. Let's go to Soups. And we have some other news stories we'll get to that relate.
Caveat ties member for 15 months. Disney wants government to cancel him to avoid the bullet.
Smart. Ooh. That's right. They kind of saw it as an opportunity.
Yeah, Dick Caveat is my favorite late show host.
Super Vash for 10. If your argument is that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended because of low ratings and losing money, why would they bring him back then? He was forced off the air by pressure from the FCC and Trump, period.
Safe face. That's it. That's the only reason.
I would say that I think Disney would have wanted to use that as an excuse. Steph, you want to say something?
No.
You had a look that you had that look. You had that look.
I was thinking something, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard Allen for 5. Charlie Sheen was on Gutfeld Friday, and it was hilarious.
I guess he was promoting his documentary on Netflix.
Yep.
If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it.
It's wild.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, both parts. I was like, I'll watch 20 minutes, and I watched the entire 3-hour, whatever
wild,
it was.
Man.
Yeah. Charlie had a fun time. Dr. Fauci's pardon prison butt for 5. A new YouGov poll shows only 10% of Dems think the shooter had left-wing beliefs. 33% say right-wing beliefs. Last week's gaslighting did what it needed.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. He was a crazy fucker. The left, right, once you get to that point, someone who's willing to shoot someone is nuts.
Oh, right. It's just that it's the vast proportion is on that left, right. That's why we keep pointing it out, that it does kind of matter.
Wait.
Like
So
I'm a non-American.
So they believe that he was MAGA, but also happen to have a girlfriend with a dick.
Yeah. And a member of Antifa.
Her dick.
And a furry.
Dante.
So a member of MAGA had a girlfriend with a dick and a furry.
Yeah.
It was a love story, Dante.
Yes.
It was touching.
A tale as old as time.
So
right?
touching. I love you. Did it for love.
Also,
so
teenagers never rebel from their parents' politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was
Closeted
so touching.
gay men
He
totally
touched her
don't resent. Yeah.
Well,
they're Republican parents.
I think, also, I think that this shooter also represented something, using all the memes that this kid was using for various video games like, Helldivers 2 and all that. We have a new thing that is developing, and I don't know what you'd call it, because there's no name for it, meme wars or memed people. But you hear about, the more you hear about how he was radicalized. Here was a kid who was an academic genius. He got a full boat scholarship I think it was called the Republican Presidential or scholarship to the University of Utah State University. Full boat, full ride scholarship. He's a 4-point student. He goes to school and drops out after a semester.
Yeah.
Why?
Weird.
What happened? Now here's a guy that grows up in a Republican household. He winds up like people have stayed away from this. He has a trans significant other, and he's deeply immersed in this meme culture. There's something going on here that we haven't seen before. And if you go by the percentage in the polling that happens in there's polling data from 2024 and 2025 say that young people believe that, let me see where it says a percentage, 58% believe that political violence, killing people that you disagree with or that say things you don't like, is justified.
Yeah.
This is incredibly worrisome.
Yeah.
And because you have people that when you're living online all the time and you don't have a life where you're facing people, it's much easier to dehumanize other people. Because if all you're doing is talking to people through screens, that's all they are. There's an unreality that is developing around. And if you look at a lot of the people, a lot of these school shooters that have been heavily medicated as kids, they're younger people. And their anger has been fomenting in these weird environments that are part meme, part Discord servers, part, whatever, Twitch streams. And the fact that the actual reality of killing somebody, especially when you're killing somebody from a distance, you're not walking up and shoving a knife into their throat. This is all very worrisome. And it's not about
my show's name doesn't end up on any bullet casing.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this is the thing that we haven't been paying attention to this for a long time.
Joke. No one laughed.
But we haven't been paying, I mean, since Columbine in the late 90s, we've seen this pattern develop in front of us, and we're not paying attention because it's not left or right. This is something new.
Oh, see, I am paying attention, and it is completely on the left more than it is ever on the right. It is a super specific of, I can't get Chris demonetized, but like you said, medicated and of a certain group that he was dating that have all been weaponized and are a little nutty butters upstairs. And they've all been weaponized by Discord and Reddit and all the things.
I agree, but what you're saying then is, I mean, leftist thought and right-wing thought has been with us for a very long time. The weaponization of these beliefs has only been a function of social media, the way what we're seeing now. When I was growing up, there were no school shootings. No one took a gun into school in the 80s and killed 20 people. There was no Columbine. How did that
wasn't child affirming care, and everyone wasn't on antidepressants.
That's
and Rob, Battle Royale is being re-released to theaters, a movie that at the time it came out, Columbine happened, and that release just was completely derailed. And then the movie became a cult hit. I remember buying a DVD from Korea to see Battle Royale. That was the only way to get a gray market DVD region free from Korea to watch that film.
Yep. Or Hong Kong.
Yeah. Right. There you go. You were going to say,
well,
Steph.
I mean, it's all relative, Rob, because I mean, I get it. I mean, maybe in the way that we see school shootings now, but where I grew up, there were shootings at schools all the time. Like, well, you hood. So I mean, it was
but you're looking at gang violence, and things like that. But that was, I mean, that's sort of a different thing. I mean, I don't think that there wasn't something nihilistic behind it. I mean, you're literally fighting for scraps. Like,
I mean, it wasn't. See, I think what's happening now,
and it was business too.
Right. I think the shooters now are being programmed, where back in the day it was like, it was just survival.
But you know what? I don't care if it's a left or right influence. What is it that causes them to tip over to actually cause violence? So at some point, your moral compass should be, I'm on the left or right, and mostly on the left right now. I agree with Badger, but you shouldn't be killing people. Like, what's that thing that
you had a whole generation, Paul, that was raised on prescription pills, man. I mean, if you look at what, like, the age gap, the age of these shooters, they're fairly young.
Military age. Young men are always weaponized and sent off to war. The only difference now is it's hey, you guys are autocrats and Nazis. We punch Nazis. Take this, catch fascists, because World War II bad guys are always the good. Superman smashes the Klan. Batman Absolute will fight white nationalists that are fucking supposed to be Trump support. That's what I'm saying. This weaponization, this call to violence, this call to arms. You got to do something. Our democracy, it's only coming from one side.
It's
Eric
unhealthy.
Kirk got up and said, I forgive him. Everyone else going, they shoot up Christian schools. It's like, the pattern is so fucking undeniable. I can't do the both sides anymore. It's not both sides. It's one side, very specifically. And if you want to show me all the both sides, I'm willing to look, but I'm not seeing it.
I'm not making that
Republicans?
argument.
I know you aren't. I'm talking to Robert.
I mean, I'll say that.
I'm
going back to that
look, I'm not
percentage
making that argument either, but I'm saying that this is something new.
Sure.
Left and right. This is something is happening here.
Well, also, I mean, colleges are a breeding ground for these monsters now. I mean, this is where it starts. You got these kids who are coming from Iowa, from all these random places. They're going to these universities and they're getting radicalized.
Oh, he knows. Evergreen.
I mean, it is.
Oh,
what it is.
I know. I look. I know exactly what happened. I have a theory about what happened to the shooter because I saw it happen. You know, you have, like you just said, Evergreen was a very permissive place. There was a lot of drugs and a lot of alternative sex happening, and there were a lot of people I saw come to that, and they lost their minds. And this was before the internet. You know, and a lot of them just left school after that first year. They went bananas, and they couldn't hang. And so you have a kid probably was gay and he didn't know it, or he was hiding it. He goes to college, he finds people he was interested in, and his true self comes out, which is great, which should be great. Right. But apparently then you get involved with it's not just sexuality anymore, it's ideology, like you were saying, Badger. And that ideology has been weaponized against, you know, but I
can't be part of the group unless you're unless you believe in the ideology.
But it's not just a group. These professors are the ones radicalizing these kids.
Yeah. Going back to your percentage thing, Robert, I actually saw that same thing again. And in my mind, you know, all of these kids who are chronically online will end up finding themselves in a particular forum or a specific particular algorithm that will affirm whatever they're taught to believe. Yeah. Colleges are extremely left leaning, which is why Charlie Kirk went to college campuses to debate these students and offer them another point of view, a more well-rounded point of view of America, as opposed to what their professors are teaching them. And, you know, that's why he got so much pushback from the universities, because they are so left-leaning and they didn't want him.
That's where they go overboard, is because Charlie goes up and says men are men and women are women, and he hears my girlfriend, who's a fucking biological man. Now you're killing them. You're trying to kill the person I love by stating that is where they get radicalized, Paul.
Yeah,
that little moment right there.
Yeah, that on top of like the rhetoric that people use are, you know, they're Nazis, they're fascists. We are fighting a war at home against conservatives, because all conservatives, if you are conservative, you are labeled a Nazi, you are labeled a fascist, and we must fight this war at home against you. They are constantly like living in a sort of like fight or flight, that layer. They are constantly being under attack. That's why you see them get so emotionally, you know, ramped up whenever somebody is just talking to them and completely stumps them by asking them a simple question. They will go straight to emotion because they're constantly living at this heightened emotional state, to where they really do think, because of all of the rhetoric and everything they're being taught at schools, that they are under attack every single day. Their lives are at stake every single day.
And they say words are violence. So that gives words are violence. So now I can use real violence to combat you.
Well, yeah, 100%. And we saw a graphic illustration about why words are not violence.
Stick and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We've raised a generation of pussies who've been coddled and now actually believe that words are violence. And so if you say a man is a man and a woman is a woman and a man can never become a man, you are now a bigoted Nazi and you should be unalived. And unironically, that is what a lot of them believe.
That's why there's that big, huge percentage of students who think that it is completely and totally okay to unalive someone for their particular beliefs, because they lean a certain way. That's why they think that way, because
100%.
they have been labeled, the other side, conservative side, Republicans, conservatives, anybody who is in support of Trump, MAGA, have been labeled as the enemy of the people. You even had Joe Biden go out and say that MAGA is like the enemy of the people, or something, whatever he said. I can't fully remember his quote.
Come on, they all said it. Yeah.
It also doesn't
but
help.
You even had the president of the United States go out there and say that MAGA Republicans are the enemy.
But also Trump has also said the same thing about recently over the last 2 weeks about Democrats. Like, I hate half the country and half the country hates me and I'm not going to support them. And what we to speak to it, we need political leadership that is about America itself. Political leadership that rises above partisanship and says, look, this is a country, if we believe in the Constitution and we believe in the Bill of Rights, we have a place to start from. And look, we have been programmed by bad actors that are from outside of this country using social media against us. Yep. And we have had this, and we have been played as soon as smartphones got down to the kids in about 2012. Jonathan Haidt has done a lot of research about this. We are being played every single day. You can't defeat us militarily, but you can make us weak and ineffectual. If China goes into Taiwan, if Russia goes into Poland, we're fucked because we're not going to be strong enough and that's what they want. And they've succeeded.
Yeah, the book, the coddling of the American mind. It's also a documentary, which Alan and I reviewed.
We are in a very weakened position, and it wasn't done by us.
Yeah, and men, by the way, there's no men to stand up for this. George Carlin talked about this, the pussification of the American male. And you see it, the Pedro Pascal, that's what they think a man is. Mm-hmm. No.
Well, you know what? Our women are so manly, they have penises. So they'll stand up. They'll stand tall and erect to defend this country. I know they will.
We live in a world where no one will even define what a woman is publicly for fear of reprisal.
On my channel, Appalling News, I always have a segment and I say, men make the best women.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I think there was, What is a Woman? The Matt Walsh documentary. Someone, I think it was on Gary's show this morning, said they should do a documentary called What is a Fascist? To really define it.
No, that would be a great
look. And what is a Nazi? Because no one watches Schindler's List anymore.
Look, when I was a kid, grew up in Detroit, and there were real Nazi skinheads. Now, I don't consider them Nazis. They were kind of a joke. They listened to punk music. They got drunk. They were racist. And they did go after people who were not white to pick fights. I just consider them assholes, not part of my friend group, not at my high school, but other high schools. That kind of person existed who had like swastika tattoos. That I don't even know if I would call them a Nazi, certainly a racist, certainly an idiot and an a-hole.
It was performative.
Yes, they were, and they shaved their heads. They were dicks.
I mean, this isn't really the show to get too deep into this, but we have to acknowledge at some point, just at what point did the left really got hijacked? They did, right? Because I was listening to what Paul said. I was listening to what you said, and I agree. I think that it is a both sides issue to some degree.
Yeah,
but it's an extreme, right? Because we have the left and we have people who are like us, old school liberals, right? I used to be an old school liberal. I was all about no censorship, legalize weed, that kind of thing. I was that kind of liberal,
me too.
Right?
I still
don't try to censor my video games or my rap music, that kind of thing.
Yep.
At some point, the left did get hijacked by the radicals, man. Because I remember even in the hood where I grew up, it was violent. It was crazy. It was definitely unsafe. Drug dealers, the whole deal. But even those guys loved, Chuck Norris movies. We loved Rocky. They loved, they were pro-America. The gangbangers were pro-America, right? There was even in the hood, there was this sense of, hey, I'm an American, right? At some point, though, again, because of the radical left, all of a sudden there's BLM, there's America's the enemy of Black culture, and at some point we got hijacked, or that party got hijacked, and that's when I left.
Well, I've read way too many social posts in the last 10 days. But one that stood out is what does the left stand for? It's really nothing. There are a bunch of fringe radical groups, mainly connected that they don't like America. Now, there's a lot about
and oppression. They all believe that they're oppressed.
Yes,
and that America is the oppressor, and that everyone's a colonial power.
Yeah, and it's sad to see. We really do need two healthy opposing parties that can balance
But I mean,
each
you do
other
have
out.
people on the left who are like what I call the Bill Maher liberals, right?
Yeah.
Who are barely hanging on, by the way, to the left.
Yeah.
But he's still on the left, and there are a lot of liberals who are like him. But I think what's happening is they're getting pushed to the right.
Yeah.
By the crazy radicals.
Well, and you don't have a choice. I mean, what's really interesting is that people in the arts are traditionally fringe. We're all strange, weird people. Because because to go into the arts is to, by definition, be some kind of a dreamer. You leave practicality behind. Like, how are you going to pay for your electric bill? How are you going to pay for your food? I don't know, man. I just want to paint.
It's also how we cope with our mental illness, Rob.
Certainly in my case it is.
Yeah.
But I think that that's what's happened too, is that predominantly the arts are. I used to think the arts were the bastion of classical liberalism. I never thought of it as being, because the punks were not necessarily, and like you were saying, the more extreme people were a little different, but they didn't hate America. They hated authoritarianism.
Right.
But they liked the fact that America allowed them to play their music at open venues and stuff like that. And it was, nowadays, people have really been, and where does that come from? Who would have a vested interest in Americans hating America? Certainly not other Americans. This is an external, that's why I'm saying we have been programmed by external forces, by people, whether it's China, whether it's Russia. Imagine
we've been played
24/7. They are using our social media against us, and it's a joke. And they're pushing. If Putin goes into Poland by the end of this year, you'll know.
Well, I'll tell you this. It reminds me of one of my favorite cartoons as a kid that really disturbed me. It's one of the only Looney Tunes cartoons that is banned. The title of the cartoon is The High and the Flighty. Now, The High and the Flighty is a cartoon. I should do a video on this about the dog and Foghorn Leghorn are in a fight and they're rivals. They're trying to get each other. Daffy Duck comes in from Acme and he's selling pranks and traps and bombs and whatnot too. He sells them to Foghorn Leghorn, right? Then he also sells them to the dog. Well, the dog and Foghorn Leghorn realize, hey, Daffy Duck is selling the two of us these weapons to use against each other. And they turn on Daffy Duck. They use one of the contraptions to put him in a bottle. Now, what does this say about what's happening today? It's a very profound cartoon, and it's very over the top and crazy. Like, I was a Looney Tunes guy. I was never a Disney guy when I was a kid. Love Looney Tunes. But that cartoon is banned. And I really think there's reasons for it. Go ahead, Google it, look it up. The High and the Flighty says a lot. We've got a couple more news stories, then we'll do soups at the end. On the good news front, Gina Carano is back and deserves to be. She's back. Here she is. She's I don't know, Badger, if you have notes for the story, but she signs up for Vegas crime series Logan Rain, teaming with Get Out producers for first TV project since Mandalorian. Good for her.
Good for her.
6 weeks after settling her high-profile discrimination lawsuit with Disney and Lucasfilm, the Mandalorian star Gina Carano is stepping back into the spotlight with the new action series Logan Rain. Carano, who played Cara Dune on the hit Star Wars series before being fired in 2021, expressed excitement about the project, telling Deadline, "Logan Rain is someone I have been craving to bring to life. I'm bringing every ounce of who I am as an actress and what I have learned in this industry to this role." Set in Las Vegas, where Carano grew up, the show will follow her character as a legal assistant by day and a crime-fighting vigilante by night. Produced by Straight Wire Entertainment and the team behind Get Out and Black Klansman, the series promises to be bold and high octane. From the very start, we knew Gina was Logan Rain, says producer Rob Weston, adding that Carano has the intensity and heart to make this a visceral and thrilling ride audiences won't forget. The movie comes after Carano's lawsuit against Disney ended with what insiders called a clear win for the actress. Disney even hinted at a possible reconciliation, stating on August 7th, "We look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Miss Carano in the near future." For Carano, Logan Rain marks both creative homecoming to Las Vegas and a potential turning point in her relationship with Disney as she steps into what producers predict could be her most iconic character yet.
First of all, congrats to her. Well deserved. I believe what she said. I remember when people were so outraged, they called it abhorrent. And then I read what she wrote, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's happening now.
But you'll never get anybody on the left to agree that this was a bad thing.
Well, I'll just say that, like, when I read what she said, I was like, this is why she's like, it's now much what she put out that supposedly was the thing she was canceled for. It's more relevant now than when she first said it. It is more relevant, but I do think maybe this series is it part of the settlement. I don't know. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on this?
Part of the settlement.
Yeah, because it's not with Disney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like the green light, right? That she's allowed to work again. Like Kevin Spacey won that court battle in London, and all of a sudden his movies are back on streaming, and he's walking red carpets. So like, if you win, not that they're comparable, but like when you win your legal case, then you get the green light to be hired again.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's move on. Another story here. No, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think this is great for Gina. I know that she's been, wanting to go back to work for a while, and I think that this is incredible for her. She is done. She has this massive weight off of her shoulder with this Disney lawsuit, and she can get back to the things that she loves, which is to, make movies, go perform. I think that this is outstanding for her.
Another story here. I'm a big fan of Stan Lee. His Comic-Con, his convention was called Stan Lee's Kamikaze. It's now under new management. It's called LA Comic-Con. While I don't have any panels the weekend of LA Comic-Con, which is this weekend, you won't see me on a panel. I did get a press badge to the event. Here's what's happening. What do you guys think of this? Stan Lee, an AI version of a Stan Lee hologram, will speak with fans at LA Comic-Con.
Oh no!
What?
No.
You want a Chris Gore
weird
holocron?
Well, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, their column Heat Vision. Badger, tell us what the details are.
Nearly 7 years after his death at age 95, Stan Lee is set to make a posthumous return to LA Comic-Con, this time as an AI-powered hologram. Fans will encounter the legendary Marvel co-creator at the Stan Lee Experience, 1,500 square foot booth where tickets range from $15 to $20. Inside, attendees can take paid photos with photos. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. It's paid photos with the hologram, or even hold a 3-minute one-on-one conversation with it. Bob Sabouni, head of Stan Lee Legacy Programs for Cartoon Studios and a former Marvel executive, emphasized the care taken to preserve Lee's authenticity. We'll never put words in his mouth that aren't in line with things he spoke about in his lifetime. Fortunately, with decades of footage, we can build a voice that stays true, not always word for word, but always faithful in spirit, content, and context and intent. The project combines technology from Proto-Hologram, known for launching interactive holograms in malls, and Hyperreal, a company specializing in hyper-realistic digital avatars. Lee, who co-created icons such as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Daredevil, became the most recognizable figure in comic book culture, in part due to his famous Marvel movie cameos. Organizers hinted the hologram might even appear unexpectedly around the convention, perhaps introducing major panels. Reflecting on LA Comic-Con back in 2016, Lee had told The Hollywood Reporter, Los Angeles is to me the center of the world's entertainment. It has to have a Comic-Con.
Gut check. I think this is terrible. Clearly members of his family that own his likeness are now licensing him out. I mean, if you want a photo with Stan, you don't have one. You got Photoshop or AI. This is, I don't know how I feel about this,
It's
but I do know,
prostitution.
by the way, I do know that Marvel did also get the rights to Stan. I'm going to guess there'll be a cameo of some form in Doomsday. That's coming up. And this is a way to on-ramp this. What do people think about it? What do you guys think of this?
This is ghoulish, man.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
Necrophilia.
Yeah,
I think it's
this is weird.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
great.
it's so
that you can-
weird.
I think it's great because you can get an actor to now do whatever you want them to do, and they won't argue about it.
Yes,
Like-
Alan. Yeah,
There's
Wait,
literally
wait,
stories
and
that
you
his
said they're-
handlers
You said they're
Worked him to
charging
death.
people to take a
Yes.
picture with them?
Yeah, they're
Charge people.
charging people.
That's
$15 to
dumb.
$20.
That's diabolical.
I mean,
Wow.
also you have to think of where is this all going? This is just the beginning.
Yes,
And the thing is, if death suddenly, if we can now have what are simulacrums of people that are no longer with us, it minimizes in a way we don't have to worry about. Well, they'll be gone, but I'll just have my mom's hologram hang around my house, and if I ever want to see her,
Right.
I'll call her up. And again, it's a way. I mean, I understand that there's no way to stop this.
No.
It's going to happen. But what is it going to do to our civilization in the long term? That's the
Right.
real
People
question.
are going to love this. I think if I was there, I'd ask them, what do you think about how Disney's managing Marvel and what would you do differently?
Well, you can film him talking shit about Marvel and put it up on the internet and get 10,000
I'd
views.
answer that.
yeah.
Chris, can I get a AI?
I agree with
you?
Rob. You're not going to stop this.
I mean, I think this is Rob. You're right. This is only the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
It will only get worse. You're going to see. There were years ago.
You
There was
can
a
have- Oh,
there
sorry,
was a
go ahead.
movie they were going to make with James Dean's likeness in a new movie using face replacement, and this is just the beginning of a lot of bad ideas.
Carnell
agree with Jim.
in the chat says the sentiment of rest in peace no longer has any meaning.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, I probably won't be at the con, so I won't.
I'm going to be there, so I'll see who's like, you know, if this thing has any legs, if people are standing in line to get in. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but
Yeah. People
That
asking
is-
who okayed this, the same people that let his handlers work him to death when he was
Yep.
not
Yeah,
all there towards the
yeah,
end, and they just kept,
documentary.
yeah. So it's like, man, even when he's dead, you're still gonna whore him out. $15 to $20,
And he's more compliant now.
of course. They don't even
Yeah.
have to feed him.
No,
Yeah,
well, they
this
didn't
is-
feed him then, so
Yeah,
why break a
disgusting.
trend?
Yeah. One final news story before we go to soups and wrap up. Christopher Nolan was elected DGA president. I think this is good news for a number of reasons. I think he's a person who appreciates cinema. I don't know what his political opinions are because he's not on social media, and he doesn't necessarily feel the need to weigh in. And I don't know if this is true, but he doesn't have a cell phone. I think he has someone who has a cell phone for him. But this could be good news. Badger, if you would, from Deadline.
At the Directors Guild of America's biennial national convention on Saturday, acclaimed filmmaker Christopher Nolan was elected as the new president of the 19,500 member union. The decision came after 167 delegates voted in a new slate of officers and national board members. Nolan, fresh off his success with Oppenheimer, called the role one of the greatest honors of my career, adding, our industry is experiencing tremendous change, and I thank the Guild's membership for entrusting me with this responsibility. I also want to thank President Glatter for her leadership over the past 4 years. Look forward to collaborating with her and the newly elected board to achieve important creative and economic protections for our members. The AMPTP also released a statement congratulating Nolan, saying it looked forward to partnering with President Nolan to address the issues most important to DGA members while ensuring our members' companies remain competitive in a rapidly changing industry. A DGA member since 2001, Nolan has long been active in the Guild, serving on the National Board, the Western Directors Council, and chairing both the Theatrical Creative Rights Committee and the Artificial Intelligence Committee.
I think this is very good news for film, for the industry. He is a huge proponent of movies being in theaters.
Mhm.
He is a big on shooting on film and IMAX, a supporter of that format. He's a true cinephile, and I can't think of anyone better to maybe really tackle a lot of the big problems of this industry. So
I can tell you what
this
his
is a
motto
good sign.
His motto will be directors first. I mean, if
Yes,
there's anyone-
that also, but maybe that's a good thing at a
Yeah.
time when people are so weak-willed, where the IP has more power than the filmmaker. You know, him leading the way. This is good news. Anyone else?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good news. You know, I don't know how much governing he can do. You know,
Right.
He's a busy man directing.
Yeah. I think he's a hack. What's he done last?
Yeah, well,
Well, we'll know next year.
Yeah,
Till you see Odyssey.
Exactly, Odyssey. When
Ooh,
tickets get on sale
yeah.
1
You
year
bought your
in
tickets,
advance.
right? Yeah, so you bought your tickets already, right?
1 year in advance for one showing. We'll see. Let's go to Soups now and pick up where we left off.
Alejandro Montoya Marin for 199. Hashtag Viva Indie. Everyone, indie film is the rebellion.
Hell yes.
Achilles Jones for 2. Does Kimmel needs Trump to be profitable? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Eric Stratton, member for 33 months. New viewers should consider watching Film Threat interviews with indie directors. Fun, full of hope, people overcoming hurdles. Last week's episode was tops.
Yes, we have a Film Threat interviews channel. Go sub to that channel. And thank you, Eric Stratton. We know where that name came from. I think Rob was the
Yeah,
one.
he was damn glad to meet you.
That's right. Thanks, Eric.
That was Eric Stratton, Rush chairman. Damn
Yeah.
glad to meet you.
Yeah.
Shonen Kaiju for 5. The forces in the shadows, both domestic and foreign, have programmed people to be against each other. It's as simple as that.
It's the I fear we may live in the former US, just like the USSR. It happened there. Things could,
Very quickly, too.
yeah, it could
Robert's
happen
right.
here.
Robert is right, but when you're shot, you got to patch up the bleeding and then deal with who shot you. You can't just go straight to who shot you while you're bleeding out. You see what I'm saying? They have succeeded in their task. D's Webos for $9.99. Badger says political violence is only a left-wing thing. What a fucking joke. Didn't some right-winger gun down Minnesota's House Speaker and her husband dressed as a cup in her home about a month ago? And if you actually look at his manifesto, unfortunately, it seems like this is over abortion rights, which is a tale as old as time, however, still unfortunate.
And thank you, Deez Webo.
A serious man for 5. Political polarization is not real. Libs and cons have been pushed to the middle, and all we see are a small minority of wackos on the fringes.
That I agree. It's a matter of, these wacko voices are the ones that get attention, whether it's on social media, news. Yeah, it's a real problem. Thanks, a serious man. Appreciate you.
Flying blind on a rocket cycle for 5. That sounds fun. Hi, all.
Flying blind on a rocket cycle.
I think is that Hagrid when he was delivering. Think of the positive side of Kimmel being back. She-Hulk could now be in Doomsday. Think of how much better the movie will be. Yeah, season 2, bro. When?
I'm excited. And let's see. Oh, you gotta answer this. Olalikwe.
Chris, leak white. Jesus Christ. My care package is here, Chris. And before we expire, your generosity appreciated. My cup runneth over. Do let me know rather, if you enjoyed my confusing tribute to Alan and yourself. Keep on threatening.
We need to
I
watch
question
that
the term
on
tribute.
yeah, we need to watch that on Wednesday. But I
Tribute.
somehow
I know what he
these
did.
envelopes got lost. I promised to send people DVDs and they got lost, and I found them and just recently shipped them out. So I'm so glad you got that. And there you go. Thanks. And thank you to our mod, Lord Thoth. Thanks to Atomic Lori and Glenn Nuccio, who did a last minute banner switch out when that trailer dropped. So that was great. Everyone here, please plug your channel, and let's also Badgercast starts in like 20 minutes. So everyone, tell us, where can we find you online?
Steph, My Nerdy Home. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. All at the same My Nerdy Home. That's where you can find me.
You can find me at Call Me Chato anytime you're bored. Thanks.
And on X at Paul Chato.
Yes, if you want to harass me on X now. Yes.
Get him rebanned.
I will. I am.
Hey guys, Dante Verbal Riot. Find me at YouTube, Rumble, and X.
Rob Burnett, find me at the Burnett Work or at the Burnett Work, or find me on Instagram at RM or Robert Meyer Burnett. And I am about to drop the interview I did, the entire interview with Uber producer Roy Lee, who produced this year alone the Minecraft movie, How to Train Your Dragon, Weapons, Companion, and The Long Walk.
Whoa.
Wow.
And Until Dawn.
Go check out Rob's channel. Badgercast in 30 minutes, and then every Thursday, Rule of 3 with Star Wars Theory and Dash Star over on Theory's channel. But Badgercast right now, 30 minutes.
Yeah, Alan Ng, Film Thread. Hey, we're coming back Wednesday, and we're gonna. I guess there's a tribute to me on Wednesday.
We're doing a tribute, and we're also reviewing all 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies. I've seen them. I think our opinion will shock you, not what you think.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see. I'm going to watch the final episode tonight.
But look, your favorite Marvel superhero wins. today.
Shang-Chi is front and center
With
along
Katie.
with
with Katie.
Marvel,
Katie
and
is
Ms.
in
Marvel.
there. Aquafina, you're gonna love it, folks. That wraps it up for us. Alan and I will be back on Wednesday. And Alan, what do you have to say for yourself?
Let's get out of here.